You wake up at 4:47 a.m. Not because you set an alarm, your body simply refuses to let you rest while mediocrity exists in kitchens across the globe. You're Gordon Ramsay, and somewhere, right now, someone is overcooking risotto. You can sense it. Your morning routine begins with a workout so intense that Navy SEALs would ask for a water break. You've completed Ironman triathlons, marathons, and once ran through the Scottish Highlands just because a restaurant there served you pan-seared salmon that was clearly baked. You needed to burn off the rage. Your wife Tana rolls over. "It's not even 5 a.m., Gordon." "It's raw!" you scream at the sunrise. Force of habit. Your phone buzzes with updates from your 35-plus restaurants spanning the globe. One of your London establishments has 3 Michelin stars. You've earned 17 Michelin stars total throughout your career, more than most chefs dream of in 10 lifetimes. You've also lost stars, which hurt more than that time you fell off a cliff in Sardinia during a charity trek and had to be airlifted to hospital with a ruptured knee ligament. The stars still stung worse. Your net worth hovers around $220 million, built from restaurants, television shows, cookbooks, and sheer force of personality. You own properties across London, Los Angeles, and Cornwall. The Cornwall house has a £4 million price tag and a view of the ocean where you sometimes contemplate the incompetence you've witnessed. The sea doesn't judge you. The sea understands. Breakfast is sacred. You make scrambled eggs, low and slow, constantly stirring, finished with cream fraiche and chives. You've demonstrated this technique approximately 847 times on camera. People still manage to ruin it. You've seen contestants on Hell's Kitchen serve scrambled eggs that looked like rubber cement mixed with despair. You weren't born wealthy. You grew up in Stratford-upon-Avon. Yes, Shakespeare's town. Though your childhood was less star-crossed lovers and more crossed father who drank too much and moved the family constantly. Your dad was an alcoholic who chased failed business ventures. You moved house 15 times before you turned 16. Instability was the only constant. Football was supposed to be your escape. You had genuine talent, signed to Rangers FC at 15. Then your knee buckled during training like a souffle that someone slammed the oven door on. Career over, dreams shattered. So you turned to cooking. You enrolled at North Oxfordshire Technical College, learned the basics, then clawed your way into professional kitchens. Your first mentor, Marco Pierre White, was so terrifying he once made you cry. Actually, cry. Tears streaming down your face in the kitchen while he screamed about something you'd prepared incorrectly. You learned 2 things: how to cook at the highest level, and that one day you would be the one making other people cry. You also trained under Guy Savoy and Joel Robuchon in France, where you refined your technique and learned that French chefs could be even more brutal than British ones. This was valuable research. The cameras found you in 1998 with a documentary series about your restaurant. But America discovered you with Hell's Kitchen in 2005, and suddenly your particular brand of volcanic fury became international entertainment. Donkey! It's frozen! Where's the lamb sauce? You filmed over 400 episodes across multiple shows. Hell's Kitchen alone has run for 22-plus seasons. Kitchen nightmares sent you into failing restaurants where you discovered horrors that would make health inspectors weep. Rotting food hidden in fridges, owners who hadn't cleaned equipment since the Clinton administration, chefs who genuinely believed microwaving frozen fish was cooking. One memorable episode featured a restaurant storing cooked meat next to raw chicken at room temperature. You dry heaved on camera. This was not acting. Hotel Hell expanded your torture to the hospitality industry. MasterChef let you occasionally be nice to home cooks, though you still found ways to critique their passion. MasterChef Junior required you to soften dramatically because reducing a 10-year-old to tears on national television crosses even your line. You've described working with children as terrifyingly refreshing because they haven't yet learned to make excuses. They just cook. Here's the secret nobody talks about. Most of the restaurants you've saved on Kitchen Nightmares eventually closed anyway. The success rate hovers around 20%, but you tried. You walked into their chaos, reorganized their menus, scrubbed their grease traps, and gave them a chance. What they did afterward wasn't your fault. You're a chef, not a miracle worker. Tana has been married to you since 1996. She survived your 16-hour workdays, your traveling schedule, your early years when you were building the empire and barely home. She's also given you 6 children. Megan, twins Jack and Holly, Matilda, who has her own cooking show now, The Apple Doesn't Scream Far from the Tree, Oscar, and Jesse, born in 2023 when you were 57 years old. Yes, 57. You announced it with a video where your kids thought you were revealing a new pet. We're pregnant! The internet lost its collective mind. Your parenting style reportedly involves tough love. Your children were not allowed to work in your restaurants. You didn't want accusations of nepotism, and you wanted them to build their own paths. Jack joined the Royal Marines. Megan studied psychology. You respect independence because you had to build everything yourself. Tragedy struck in 2016 when Tana miscarried at 5 months. You named the boy Rocky. You've spoken publicly about the grief, about being in the hospital, about how it reshaped your perspective. The tough exterior cracked, and viewers saw something they'd rarely witnessed. Vulnerability. You took time off, you held your family closer, then you returned to kitchens, because cooking is how you process existence. Here's what makes you fascinating. You're simultaneously the angriest and kindest person in food television. You've made grown men cry over improperly tempered chocolate. You've called professional chefs donuts, muppets, and combinations of profanity that required creative bleeping. You once held up 2 pieces of bread on either side of a contestant's head and screamed, "What are you?" until she tearfully replied, "An idiot sandwich." But you've also paid for culinary students' educations anonymously. You've donated millions to various charities. You've mentored young chefs and launched their careers. When the cameras stop rolling on Hell's Kitchen, you reportedly become a completely different person. Supportive, educational, genuinely invested in contestants' growth. The anger is partly performance. British kitchen culture of your era was genuinely abusive. Marco Pierre White's kitchen was genuinely terrifying. And you absorbed that intensity, then amplified it for American audiences who couldn't get enough. You've admitted the persona is turned up for television, but it's not entirely fake. You genuinely cannot tolerate mediocrity. The sight of someone who claims to be a professional chef serving raw chicken makes something in your brain short-circuit. You're also surprisingly humble about your own mistakes. You've talked openly about early failures, about the restaurant that nearly bankrupted you, about the Michelin stars you've lost. You've eaten your own bad reviews and used them as motivation. The insecurity of that kid from a broken home never fully disappeared. It just got channeled into obsessive perfectionism. What will people remember about Gordon Ramsay? The screaming, certainly, the memes, the lamb sauce, the finally some good fucking food that became a reaction image for every satisfying moment on the internet. But also, you democratized fine dining. Your cookbooks taught home cooks techniques from Michelin-starred kitchens. Your shows made people care about food quality, about freshness, about effort. You made cooking competitive, dramatic, and watchable for audiences who'd never considered entering a kitchen. You trained generations of chefs who went on to open their own restaurants. The Ramsay family tree of culinary talent spreads across the industry. And you proved that a kid from a chaotic home with a shattered football dream could build an empire through skill, work ethic, and an absolutely unhinged relationship with quality control. The day ends around midnight. You've visited 2 restaurants, filmed a segment, reviewed menu changes, and video called your kids. Tomorrow you'll do it again. Someone on the internet has just posted a photo of carbonara made with cream. You can feel your blood pressure rising already. Sleep won't come easy. Somewhere out there, a scallop is being murdered in a cold pan. A risotto is being neglected. A Wellington's pastry is soggy, but that's tomorrow's battle. Good night, you donuts, you whisper to the culinary world. The lamb sauce rests, finally found.